Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the T-Talk podcast, brought to you by Driftin Threads, LLC. Go to driftinthreads.com and use code T-Talk for 10% off at checkout. Dana, how are you doing today?
Doing all right, man. Pretty tired right now, but I'm ready to record some T-Talk. And yeah, it's going well.
Oh, good. Glad to hear that it's going well, and I'm having one of those weeks, and I love, I'm having a good week so far. I mean, work's good. It's Monday, you know what I mean? I'm having one of those weeks, man. It's Monday. But, I mean, we got a load to talk about today. I mean, there's so much stuff that we missed. I mean, there's so much stuff that's been going on over the past week that we didn't talk about in 19. Some of the stuff was already developing in 19, and we couldn't talk to you guys about that yet just because it was still up in the air. Nobody really knew what was going on. But now it's a little more obvious, and Siri decided to start talking as soon as I start talking, so that's really great. Thank you, Siri. Love you, Apple. But besides that, we got a lot of big news for team media regards, and just how we operate, different stuff like that, legal things like that, changes, bunch of stuff that we want to go over today. Before that, we have a special announcement. Dana made the Apex team at our college. He's officially a collegiate level, or collegiate? Is it collegiate or collegiate? Okay, collegiate level Apex legend. I don't player. He is a god at the game. He is a legend. They should just call him a legend at the game. He's amazing at it. He's the best person I've seen at Apex, in my experience that I've seen. I don't really watch that much Apex, but from what I've seen, he is the best. But it's good. I'm really happy that I made the team. And Dana, tell us a little bit. I know it was nerve-wracking, definitely. I mean, I live with you, so I could tell you that was part of it. But how do you feel now that you made the team? What was going through your head? For some people who might be trying to join a team of their own, what are some tips that you can give them?
It really, I think it just comes down to playtime and just being for me, it was really just, I had to play a lot. I played consistently for roughly a year. I've been playing games forever, but this game specifically, I grinded pretty much exclusively for a year. And I got kind of in with some of the people that were running the esports at the school, and specifically for Apex. And so I just, kind of stayed friends with them and kept getting involved in things. And if you're the most present person there, I mean, they're gonna see how you play and see what your strengths and weaknesses are, and they'll know what to do with you. So, and if they think you're good enough, then they'll take you on. So that's what happened to me.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, no, and I'm glad he made the team, and I knew you were gonna make the team. I was telling him he's gonna make the team. I told him not to stress. He stressed. He made the team. He made the team though. I stress a lot about stuff too.
I think a lot of people do.
That stuff was obvious. That one was obvious though. I knew Dana had that in the bag. We all saw it from a mile away, and I'm really happy that he made it in the end.
Yeah.
But guys,
and I've never done anything like this before. So first time playing in esports or competitive,
which is good,
like that.
Which is great. Which is great, and I'm really happy. I'm really, really, really happy that Apex was that game, because it's his favorite game, guys. He loves that game. He wants to be the best at it. He's told me, and I think, and like I said, I think he's really I think he's really fucking good at the game. You know what I mean? I think he's way better than, I would say, the average player at the game, and I'd say he's better than, I would say, a lot of people that are playing on teams now. But
we'll see.
I think that's true. You don't argue with me on that. I think it's true. But last episode, guys, we promised you an amazing episode, because we talked about a lot of stuff, and we know how much you guys love when we talk about financials, when we talk about the economy. We love to see that you guys love that, and we want to talk about that with you guys, but there was something big that happened this week that Dana and I thought we needed to talk about on this podcast. So if you guys live under a rock and you didn't hear, Russell Brand is getting canceled. Of course, this is another attack from the Me Too movement. And it's obvious. It's an obvious attack against Brand. I mean, come on. You're telling me the same week that this guy goes out and exposes the media corporations for the shady business dealings that they do, the way that they censor people that they do. It's you guys don't find it funny that the same week that he does that, magically every single tabloid, every single news station, every single headline was talking about how Russell Brand was a potential rapist when he's not. We all know that this is bogus. We know that this is what the left and what everybody loves doing when somebody does something or steps out of line. They try to shut you down. And this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to attack him legally. They're trying to say that he was a terrible man, that he sexually assaulted multiple people. And then this is the same thing that they did to Andrew Tate. This is the same thing that they tried doing to Trump, which didn't work. You know, this is the same thing that we see them doing. So why do you think, Dana, that more people aren't seeing that this is just a clear, coordinated attack against a single individual man?
Because they don't look into it. They don't know the backstory. They don't know really the big picture. That they see these little isolated events and they ignore the big picture. And I think that's where you come to the conclusion that this person is guilty, whatever. I mean, if there's actually any proof or anything, they'll do a trial and we'll see what happens. But you have to have evidence. And if you can't show evidence, you shouldn't be, arrested and tried and guilty. You shouldn't be found guilty of a crime that you didn't commit if the evidence doesn't prove it. So
I 100% agree with that, and I also think that it's very dangerous. Even just the accusation itself can do tons of damage. We know that all too well, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, if you look at what happened with Brett Kavanaugh, I mean, that was just a
same thing.
Terrible situation, and there's still people that think he raped people, and it's like there's zero evidence that shows that. I mean, it went through court, and there was no evidence,
and that's the same thing with
all garbage.
That's the same thing with Andrew Tate. They didn't find a lick of evidence that he committed any of the crimes that was brought against him. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a lick of evidence against Trump. So
and
really,
there's a motive against those people. Like
there is.
If you look at it, just take a step back and look at if there's any benefit for the victim or the quote unquote victim for, getting this person tried for something. Yeah. If there's any sort of like benefit there, just trace it back a little bit and just take a look at it, Maybe it's not all true,
Well, and I find it really funny that as soon as there is a man that says something that's a little bit out of line when it comes to those who really run things in this world, magically they get slapped with you raped somebody, you sexually assaulted somebody, magically.
It's the same.
But does that worry you as a man? Does that worry you as a man living in the 21st century? I mean, anybody can wake up one day and say, "Hey, Dana did this to me," or Tasso did this to me. That anybody can wake. Does that worry you? I feel like I have a big fear about it, but I want to hear your opinion on it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel like you're almost playing like a game with your life.
Yeah.
If you're just even trying to approach anybody who you don't already have vetted. I mean, even people I mean, in your workplace or something, like if you say one thing that could be taken out of context, anything like that, I mean, you could lose your job. And now with social media, I mean, you could be blasted across social media as this terrible person with zero evidence.
Yeah.
Just with one little thing. And that's
word of
the
mouth.
problem.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
And that's what I have a big problem with the Me Too movement. I have a really big problem with the Me Too movement because what the Me Too movement does is, on one side, it helps, women come out that have been attacked and that have been assaulted. And that's a great thing. On the other side, it gives women who are malicious, a platform to ruin somebody's life. Let's think about this logically for a second. There's nothing stopping, and this happens a lot of the time. There's nothing stopping a girl who got broken up with by her boyfriend from going out and saying, he did inappropriate things to me. There's nothing stopping her from doing that. Okay? And that's when you have to look at how was this person raised? Were they raised right? Were they gonna do so? Are they gonna say this thing and ruin this man's life? Or were they raised correctly? Do they have good parenting and they know not to do that because they know that's ridiculous?
There's also no way of proving consent either, really. In a lot of situations, it's like, I don't know. It's really
it's a touchy subject for sure.
It's really touchy because you can't. I mean, I think it goes both ways. I mean, there's crappy guys and
Yeah.
there's crappy girls,
Oh, for
and
sure.
it could really go either way there. And but the problem is like understandably, there's a lot more focus on the male kind of
Yeah.
rapist side of it.
Mm.
Um, but at the same time, I mean, that also sweeps under the rug like all the other stuff that happens with female rapists and like everything like that. So,
Yeah.
but it totally reminds me of kind of the BLM movement where it's like it starts with a good kind of message and a like it it's something that's worth fighting for, you know?
Yeah.
But they totally warp it and they take the message and twist it. There's like a totally hidden meaning behind it, and
Yeah.
that's what is the problem. It's not necessarily like that you know, that all lives, I mean, like Black lives don't matter. That uh, there's nothing wrong with Black Lives Matter as like a phrase or something to stand up for because everyone matters, right?
Yeah.
Um and the same goes for these cases of rape or stuff like that. It started from a good place and now it's just being used
Well,
in
let's
everything.
let's let's talk about that very carefully. Let's reword that
Okay.
like really heavily.
Okay.
So the Me Too movement started from a good place.
Yes.
Yeah. Just where it's at now, it's bad. The way you worded
Yeah.
that made it
Yeah.
sound. I just think about it like in your head really quick. Repeat what you
Yeah.
said. Yeah, you can see how that can be seen as confusing.
Mhm.
But I mean, this thing against Brand. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. The same exact week they got sloppy with it. The same exact week he decided to expose media. The media decides to go to war with him. And it makes sense. Sure. You poked the bear and the bear bit back. But I mean, come on. I mean, it's obvious. He didn't do anything wrong, and it's really sad. And honestly, it's a big fear that I have for myself. Dana knows this all too well, and we've mentioned it before on the show. But there was a time once where I had a false report brought against me for something very similar that they're accusing Brand of. Not of the same extent, but it was still they said that I said something, which is still considered sexual assault and everything like that. So, but in the end, I was turned out I didn't say anything. That was the truth. I didn't say anything out of line. However, what happens to the person that made that report?
Nothing.
Nothing. Did they get in trouble? No.
Nope.
Did I get in trouble?
And
Did I get in trouble? Not really. But did the way people looked at me change? 100%. 100%. Because
you had to basically regain people's trust.
I had to regain.
And there was a whole investigation done that doesn't prove anything. It didn't prove anything.
It proved that I was innocent. And they did forget to tell me I was innocent as well for extended period of time. But I mean, that's in the past now. But the reason why I bring it up is because, that person who reported me got away scot-free. They don't feel like a shitty person. They didn't have to go home and, they weren't thinking if they were a shitty person. I did that. They didn't have to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Because when they were describing the situation to me, they made me actually believe that I was a terrible, sick person that they were making me sound me to believe. That this person made me sound like I was. And that was really, really something that bothered me a lot. And it still bothers me today. I'm still, when I'm in the office and stuff, I'm still very careful. I go as far as, I don't even stand close to a person of the opposite gender. That's just how afraid of it in office. Like if I have to pass next to you or like, you know what I mean, right? We'll walk past you. I'll take an extra 2 steps back. I don't want any mistake that, that's just how much fear that is put into me. Because if somebody decides, I want to go ruin this guy's life, they could just do it just by saying a word. And I think that's really terrible. Mm-hmm. And honestly, we need to get away from that. I think that goes to show, and I'm going to say it. I don't really care. People are pussies. If you're not going to be able to look at somebody in the eye and say, I don't like you. If you're going to have to make up an entire story besides that, it's ridiculous. And you should rethink your life. And honestly, rethink every single facet that has led you to that moment of your life.
I wanted to say one thing
Yeah.
about you know, I guess it would be having consequences for the person that reported you.
Yeah.
The problem with that is like it's all hearsay,
Yeah.
both sides. So you can't like
Well, unless there's proof, unless there's like cold hard
unless there's
proof.
proof, but you can, but again, it's like how in your situation would you be able to get that person in trouble? Like that, like I don't
Countersue them for defamation. That's what Johnny Depp did. He won.
right, but there was no lawsuit or anything, right? I just think that it's a really touchy subject.
It
And I think
is.
you really
It
just
is.
you have to really get back, like we have to bring society as a whole back to a point where that's not even something we think about doing. Like
Do
we
you,
respect each other enough to where that we're not doing that to each other.
can
You
I
know what I
ask
mean?
you?
Yeah,
Do you
sure.
think that normalizing sex has caused that to become more of a problem? Because now we see people running around saying, "Oh, teach the kids sex, teach them this, teach them this." Like, doesn't it like? Don't you feel like that's gonna cause more issues? Like we're gonna be having more problems. I mean, if these kids are young and they're going on the internet looking up whatever they want, you know how easily accessible pornography is nowadays. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's honestly, and there's people that are like, "Oh no, but we should show sex shouldn't be taboo and stuff like that." But it should be. But it should be, right? It should be taboo. It's something that should be taboo. I think it's something that I don't want to. Just like we said, you shouldn't be in the workplace talking about, "Oh yeah, dude, I over the weekend I was doing this, that." You shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It shouldn't be commonplace to talk about sex and stuff, even in schools. Sure, kids should be able to learn these things. I have no problem with kids learning about
The
sex
science
education,
of it.
science
The
and stuff like
science
that.
of
Yeah,
it.
sex education and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't need a kid learning about dildos and butt plugs and lube and stuff. I don't need kids learning about that stuff. It makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Teach them the birds and the bees. Teach them, what they need to know to be safe. But at the same time, you don't need to teach them, yeah, you guys should try this, and the next weekend with your partners, You shouldn't be doing that with children. You shouldn't be, and that, I don't see the big problem with that. Am I transphobic because I said that? No. Do I just not want kids to know about pornography and sex at a young age when they could be learning about wanting to be astronauts and shit? Yeah.
It has nothing to do with trans people.
Yeah.
It has nothing against
They
trans
made it
people,
about
gay
them,
people,
though.
whatever.
They made it about them, though, so they could use it as, a thing, and now they're, and the funny thing is, let's just bring this up really quick. Every single one of these people that are like, "Oh no, we're not coming for your kids," are getting arrested for going for your kids. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And these are the same people that are teaching your kids. These are the same people that are like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to become a teacher." That's a problem. These things are problematic.
Yeah.
These things are problematic.
It kind of just goes hand in hand. Yeah, I don't know. Like back to what I was saying about it not being about gay people or trans people or whatever. I mean, it's one of those things. Like it ropes. It almost puts a bad label on the group for really no reason, and it's really unfortunate that had to happen. Um, because there's plenty of people in both communities that are great, and you know, same thing with every other community out there.
Yeah.
There's they someone comes through, the vocal minority comes through, and they start some stupid movement that started from a good place and just went off the rails because no one stopped them. It's our job to stop them from going too far.
And that's the problem. This is way too far. I mean, we are way too far off the deep end. What the fuck? Like, I don't want that. That's not that's not natural, dude. Come on. You want to talk about and you want to talk about natural. You want to talk about being natural. You want to talk about stuff like that. Here's what being natural is. You're born a boy, you're born a girl, you're going to have a son or a daughter as a child, okay? And the way that's going to be determined is that when that baby comes out, that child is either going to have a penis or it is going to have a vagina. If it has a penis, it will be a man. If it has a vagina, it will be a woman. It's that simple. I don't know where we got this stuff confused, and I don't know when we started normalizing that is not the case, and that is not how it is, okay? I don't care if you're religious or if you're not religious. There's only 2 sets of chromosomes, And you can only have one of those two sets. Unless you're a man, and then because you have...
Well, unless you have a disorder.
Or you have a disorder. Okay? But, like, these are the truths, okay? I don't know who decided to wake up one day and say, oh, no, it's a spectrum. No, it's not a spectrum. Nothing's a spectrum. There's some things that are a spectrum, but that is not a spectrum. If you want to talk about a spectrum, sure, let's talk about mental illness. That is legitimately a spectrum. That is considered a spectrum, and the experts and doctors and scientists all agree that that is legitimately a spectrum because it's different for everybody. So are you saying that now this is a spectrum because it's mental illness? Because I'll agree with that. It's a spectrum. Gender's a spectrum. No, it's not. You're a man, you're a woman, grow up. Simple as that. Dana, how do you know you're a man?
It's pretty damn obvious.
How? How do you know?
Well, it's on my birth certificate for one thing. It's right there.
But what if the piece of paper, what if they printed it wrong? How would you know?
I mean, I can look straight down.
Exactly.
You can look at the bones. You can look at the average weight. I mean, you can look at a lot of things. There's a lot of things.
Very obvious. It's very obvious. And, you know, I'll close out the topic with this, okay? If genitalia does not affirm your gender, then removing it also does not affirm your gender, right? So then why are we trying to cut off parts of our body if that part of the body didn't matter, right? I thought it was all in the head. I thought, you know, you're born that way.
Well, it's a physical affirmation to basically make them think that they are more similar to a certain gender.
But it's not affirming though.
I know it's psychotic.
But it's not. But it's not affirming.
No, it
doesn't
making them
matter.
feel like it.
But that's the thing though. If they have one or don't, it shouldn't matter, right? Because it's how they're born. And that's how you shoot a hole into the trans argument right away.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't answer that. Even if you try to play devil's advocate, you can't think of like an actual thing that any human on this earth can't just think of a common sense reply for.
Well, I don't think that the trans movement is one-sided. I think there's a million different arguments that come from that group. So you can't just argue one point. I mean, you can argue the general, mentality around it, but there's people that are like a certain, length into it. Like, oh, there's just male and female, and you can be a trans man, a trans woman. And then there's people that go as far as saying, well, whatever, you can do whatever you want.
I mean, it's a load of hoopla, dude. It's a load of hoopla.
I know.
These same people that are waking up saying, "Oh, I felt like a man," and it's like, I saw this interview, and it's like, "Well, how are you feeling today?" And she was like, "Well, I identify as bi, but today I'm actually feeling a little cis." I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" You want me to wake up and say, oh, today I'm feeling like a man, tomorrow I'm going to feel like an Apache attack helicopter, and maybe on Thursday I'll feel like a frying pan. Like, what? They pre-think these things in their brain before they, on Monday, is that what they're doing? They're scheduling? Oh, Tuesday I'm going to be a guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, again, it comes back to the fact that it's not just one thing. They're not, it's all...
I think the whole thing is stupid.
Most of across most of these modern woke movements, there isn't an answer. There's no truth. There's no answer.
Yeah.
There's no solid ground to stand on. All of it is just whatever they want.
So that's how you know it's all made up.
Whenever they want.
That's how you know it's all made up.
I know, but that's what it is.
No, I know you don't. I'm just saying
the entire
for
woke movement.
People,
Mm-hmm.
The peoples, the interwebs. But guys, we got off on a wayside tangent. Let's actually get into the topic of the video, which is the finances, the economy, where we are, everybody's favorite thing to talk about. We mentioned to you guys before that America's struggling, man. We talked about how much money the U.S. has sent to Ukraine, how much money we're losing on every illegal alien that is entering this country. I mean, guys, you are getting gaped and you have no idea. But let's go ahead and let's run over these numbers with a quick, Dana, shall we? The U.S. has sent over $110 billion to Ukraine. And fun fact, Biden only proposed a $60 billion foreign aid budget for the year of 2023. Can I just throw it out there again? Only proposed $60 billion. We are currently, in our infinite president's wisdom, okay, $50 billion over budget, man. And did you hear what's happening? If we don't pass a budget plan, government's shutting down this week. Did you hear about that?
I heard talks about it, yeah.
Yeah, if they don't pass a budget plan. So what's this? What do you think this does, dude? $60 billion. We Biden carved out for foreign aid, and we spent 110 to Ukraine alone. 110 to Ukraine alone. Like, that's a big problem in my eyes. Okay. And then we mentioned last episode that illegal immigrants cost $48 billion a year. $48 billion a year. So that's just in total over the last year alone, guys. Over the last year alone, we have lost $158 billion on bullshit that means nothing, that we're never going to see again. We're never going to see that money ever again. Okay. And what does that mean for us? It means, okay, now we have this money overseas. This money is out of U.S. circulation. So what happens now? We need to print more money. Value of the dollar is going down even further. We talked about this the last time we talked about politics, or pardon me, we talked about the economy and financials. The value of your dollar is now even more less than what it was the last time we talked about it. And a lot of people don't realize this. And Dana, why do you think people do not care? People are under this mentality that they're saying oh, well, I don't care about politics or the economy because it doesn't affect me. But now it is affecting you. Do you think people just don't see that? I get confused about that. I get confused because people are like, oh, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. It's like, you live here. Do you not?
I think people don't get it. Some people don't get it. And I think it's just lack of knowledge or ignorance or, stuff like that. I've said this before in previous episodes. I think it just comes back to people being too busy with life, and not really understanding these things that are pretty important to know.
People blame the school system too, but did you take econ in high school?
Yeah, I had half a year of econ.
Yeah, so I took 2. So I had to take a semester, so half a year of econ, and then I decided to take macroeconomics as well because I thought it was cool.
Okay.
But it's they taught me well, they taught me economics. You know what I mean? There isn't. I don't feel like I don't have a grasp on economics after that. What about you? Is it different for you? Do you feel like you genuinely understand how money works?
It's a complicated subject, but I have a general idea. I mean, I'm learning every day about it.
Yeah, and I feel like the problem is kids are learning the value of a dollar later in their life or too late into their lives.
Well, I don't think they teach it enough in school. I mean, it's a pretty important thing to know, and I think having half a semester to learn about it, what is that?
But I think that people should be going out and getting this knowledge themselves. I
think so too, but I think that it would be nice if the school system
it prepared them for that.
A little bit. Yeah.
No, I agree with that. That's 100%. I think the school system's too focused now on pushing CRT and other things into classrooms that shouldn't be in classrooms. That, I feel like that's a big problem with schooling. They're always talking about, oh, how are we going to talk about CRT? How are we going to talk about sex education? It's where do you have time to teach them this stuff? You barely have time to teach them about taxes. Where are they finding the time to give these kids more lecture, and they're not actually learning the useful shit?
I didn't have CRT in school. I didn't have the gender studies. I didn't have any of this BS when I was in school, or high school a couple years ago. So most of this woke stuff happened the year I got out.
Yeah.
So
COVID. I mean, COVID.
I don't even. Yeah, and I don't think that I don't really know if my school system is doing a lot of that stuff. So I mean, I was in public school, right? But
something just popped into my head, and tell me if you thought about this too. How did COVID benefit the left so much?
Because they took advantage of it.
But if they benefited way too well. It's almost like these fuckers knew it was going to happen.
Well, yeah, they kind of did. I mean,
It's
they had a lot of this.
ugly.
They had a lot of this. They had a lot of this stuff planned out before it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I mean, what are we going to do, man? What are we going to do? We have a president who doesn't give two shits. We have the lowest approval rating than any other president. But where does money come from? Where does money come from? Where does the government get money? Now, there's a lot of places the government gets money. Of course, you have nation-to-nation deals, you have trade, you have international deals like I mentioned before, and you have taxes. What happens when you're screwing your Americans and they can't pay your taxes? Well, you have to find the money elsewhere. So where do you try to make the money? America loves making money on what, Dana?
Tragedy.
Okay, well, yes, and this substance that America loves. We even lied about weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East because of it.
Yeah, war and stuff.
No, not oil.
Oil. Yeah.
That's what makes the world go around. It's not the U.S. dollar. It's oil, everybody. What currency is being used to trade oil? Historically, it was the U.S. dollar from the Saudis.
Yeah.
But now the Saudis, princes, they're changing everything. The Saudi...
those guys are making moves, dude.
Well,
the Saudi princes over there are making moves.
Yeah, they are.
They're doing good work.
They're doing business with BRICS now. They're using BRICS currencies primarily over the U.S. dollar. Now, this is a massive problem, guys. If the U.S. dollar loses, if the U.S. dollar loses its oil money, its oil value, oh my God. This country is decimated, and this is why the left is trying to push electric vehicles so much, guys. I don't understand why people don't see this. It's very, very obvious when you place the things in the way that they should be placed. Why all of a sudden we're having massive problems with gasoline and sourcing gasoline and oil and stuff like that? Massive, massive problems. The pipeline, what happened there? What happened with the Keystone pipeline? Okay? Why are we having a problem with oil when we had everything in place to be an oil, but like powerhouse? You know what I mean? What happened there? Well, you have a war now with Russia and Ukraine, and obviously we decided to go against the people that had all the oil. Okay. Then you have the Middle East, who sends all of their oil money, which used to be all traded with USD. They're now using the Chinese. What is it? I always forget. Is it the yen or the yuan? Is it yuan, right? Chinese yuan. I always get confused if it's Japanese yen or Chinese yuan. You know what I mean?
It's the yuan.
It's the yuan for China.
YUAN.
Okay. Cool. So the Chinese yuan is now the main currency for oil, as well as any other BRICS-supported currency. So what does this mean for the United States? We are losing our oil value. We now need to force ourselves to become an EV, a leader in the EV market. So what does this mean? We need to push EVs. We need EVs to work, because if EV doesn't work, the U.S. is really, really screwed. And that's what I think. It's not, I'm not giving financial advice or anything like that. It's just what I think. It's the way I see the things, because it makes so much sense, everybody. We haven't been doing the deals with the Middle East. We destabilized the Middle East in the early 2000s. Okay, we owned their oil empire. Now the Middle East is gaining strength again. Now they're starting to take control of their oil again. And now that they have control of their oil again, since the U.S. has pulled out, everybody else, our enemies, are starting to become the key players in the oil trade. And that is a big problem. China is becoming a key player in the oil trade. BRICS is becoming a big key player in the oil trade. And, America's sat here and let it happen. We are watching the crumble of the American empire in front of our eyes. You're watching it happen. Dana, take it away for like the next 5.
It's crazy that in the last, this has been happening for many years now, but it's crazy how we put it on pause and reverted it for 4 years and immediately went back to the old policies as soon as Biden got back in.
Dude, we had 4 years of do you know how this country was going well? Everybody had the time to complain. Mm-hmm. That's how things were going well. Everybody was complaining. The rich was complaining. The rich were complaining. The poor were complaining. Everybody was complaining. but everybody was making money. So nobody gives a shit. Like everybody in America was doing well. It didn't matter what you were, what you believed. Everybody was doing well under Republicans, under Trump. Biden comes in here and oh boy, everything breaks. You have a falsified election that placed the president in there. You have something else that's falsified that we cannot mention that it was falsified, and or YouTube will hate us. You have those. Everything is a lie. Everything in the past 4 years has been bullshit shoved down your guys' throats. Do you guys believe it? We allowed the world, whoever controls this world, we allowed them to take us as sheep. We are all sheep. Do you understand? You all wake up at 8 o'clock every day to go to work. Like, come on. Try to find the way out of that. Try to find the secrets out of that. Dana and I are trying to bust our asses so we don't need to worry about going to work. So we don't need to be like everybody else. So we don't need to wake up at 8 o'clock. Right, Dana?
Yeah, but there's a necessity for those people as well.
No, I don't think so. They're all going to be gone. Honest, they're all going to be gone.
To what?
AI. Robots.
I disagree.
100%. As soon as a company can cut its workforce, they will.
I know, but I think there's going to be other avenues where people are going to be needed.
Oh, for sure. There's always going to be people. I just think, I think that these people, I think the people that right now are comfortable sitting on Twitter complaining, not me. When I'm on Twitter, I'm fighting the people that are sitting on Twitter all day. Or on x.com. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like a lot of people are screwed. I think everybody at McDonald's is screwed. I'm excited. People are going to be forced to go to school again, become smart. They're not going to be able to sit home doing nothing.
I don't know. They actually might be able to do that.
Universal basic income.
Yeah. That's definitely a conversation to be had as to what people are going to do once AI takes over. Where's our time going to go? What are we going to spend our time doing? How are we going to make ourselves feel, fulfill that worth that people strive for,
But it's
that
like, is that worth there
life.
because it's manufactured, though? I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, is that worth there because it's manufactured? Is us wanting to grow up and get a job manufactured? Like, do you understand? Like, I feel like society is a problem. I feel like it's a plague. I feel like instead of allowing everybody to live free, I feel like we've done this thing where everybody is normalized and sheeple. Like, you know what I mean? Uniqueness is one of the character now. I feel like that's the only way to be unique anymore. It's like it's your person. Like, but even then they want you to conform into some type of mentality.
Yeah, I think it's no, I like half agree with you. And I know where it's coming from. I think that society it's a human thing, and it's a great thing. I think society is awesome,
Yeah.
and I would not want to grow up in a place that is chaos and anarchy.
Well, I don't want
And
anarchy.
it's definitely, well, hold on. I think it's better for humanity to have society, but I think that there's a certain point where society becomes
control.
like well, there's always going to be someone in control. That's human nature. There's always going to be like a leader, and there's always going to be followers. And there comes a point where the leader thinks, hey, why don't I have full control over everything? And that's what we've seen throughout, you know, the human experiment forever. I mean, throughout history, it's been, a ruler or a group of rulers
Yeah.
that ruled everything.
Yeah.
And you were their, the average person was basically there to serve them. And, you know, the West, the modern West was a change in that to where it's still a similar model, but you're free to kind of do what you want as long as like you
Ah,
you fulfill basic things.
but see, there's a problem
It's
with that.
changing.
There's a problem with that. I think I don't have a problem with society. I have a problem with where society is today. Is that a better way to phrase it?
Well, there was a short gap in history where things changed, and that was America and the American Revolution, French Revolution, a bunch of other revolutions happened across the board.
Which is great. But I think, why do you want to be rich?
Because it gives you more control.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
It makes things easier. You don't have to worry as much.
But I
think there's a certain point where like you need to, for society to work, people have to contribute to it in some way, right?
But right now, yeah, that's fine. But
that's why we have schools. That's why we have
again. I'm not disagreeing with that though. I don't have a problem with society.
There's a certain level of control that comes with that.
Okay, I don't have a problem with society though. I have a problem.
You just said you had a problem with society.
I don't have a problem with society. I have a problem with modern day society. I have a problem with, people waking up. What's the point of waking up in the morning? Like, who do you live for?
Well,
see,
for
like
you and I, it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be living for God.
Okay, but who do you live for?
What I just said.
Okay, for you and I, we should be living by. You should be. Who do you live for? I don't want to hear the they'll be nice, they'll be happy if they hear this answer. Who do you live for? When you wake up in the morning, who are you actually like? Who's your boss?
Myself.
Is it though? Because you have to go to work, you have to go to school, you have to go to, and I feel like I have a problem with that.
Why do you have a problem with that?
Because I don't want that. I want complete freedom. I want to do whatever I want to do, like I do now.
Okay, so go out into the middle of the jungle and live off the land there.
But my point is, you could do that now in this world. The point I'm trying to get across is I think people have forgotten that. I think people have forgotten that you don't need to be within the system. I think people have forgotten that you don't need to live and you don't need to be a follower of everybody else.
Okay, but at the same time, those people need to exist for society to work.
Yeah, they need to exist, but they do. But they don't. They don't need to exist.
Why not?
You said it yourself. Everybody needs to have a hand to play in society. They were able to do that before. Somebody made the food. Somebody cooked the food. Somebody grew the food. Somebody cooked the food. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's value there. There's people today. There's people today where they give no value to this earth. They give no value to the world. That's just the truth of things. I think but
how is someone that sits on their couch and watches TV all day, someone who doesn't work or anything?
Yeah.
How is that person in reference to society? How are they any different from the person who is out in the woods, completely AWOL from everything?
I could tell you very closely.
Okay, tell me.
That person in the woods.
Explain it to me.
That person in the woods doesn't have a mortgage, doesn't have taxes, doesn't have to stress their lives out about paying things that means nothing to them.
I'm talking about their meaning to society.
No. But that's their meaning to society, right?
Okay, but
so the person in the jungles, society. I wasn't done with my answer. The person with the jungles, right? And you could roll your eyes all you want. I counted. You've already cut me off 4 times, so I've been counting.
Yeah, okay.
You did? I counted. I fucking counted. Don't tell me you did it. I counted. The person in the jungle, okay, they have, for their society, they need to go get food, right? Somebody needs to go get food. They have a use in their society. That person on their couch, they pay taxes. You're used to society. You get no benefit anymore, dude. That is my point. Society's fucking useless today. Back then, it was, I need food. Oh, you know how to hunt? Go hunt me. Go give me food. And I'm a potter. I can make a pot for you. If you give me food, I'll make you a pot. Okay? That's what that was. Now, everybody works to pay one person taxes, man. One government taxes. How does that benefit anybody?
I completely disagree with you.
How?
Because because these days you can go walk into a store and purchase food, and you can go out and you can live in a mostly safe society. You don't get shot because there's police there to come and help you out.
Yeah.
That's what your taxes are for.
Okay.
The problem that we have is that the excess is being, like, the stuff that could be there to help improve a lot of these things is getting blown on a bunch of stuff that's completely useless.
But that's the problem with modern day society.
Yes, but that means it needs to be reworked. That doesn't mean, let's just throw it away.
Hold on. If it needs to be reworked, you need to throw away what you have right now, dude. That's my point. You literally just agreed with me.
No, you don't.
You just agreed with me.
You don't, though, because I already think that
but you're
society. No. You need to just cut the crap out.
But I don't think you do. I think you need to change the entire system. I think, like, what you said.
To what?
Is
what's your grand idea to change society to be better?
Is it really? Is what I'm saying really that far out there?
You're basically saying scrap everything and
my
start
taxes
anew.
should
With
go
what?
exactly to what you said. Police. You know, my life. Okay? Mm-hmm. The problem with modern society, the point I'm trying to make to you is that dude in the jungle, okay, his thing that he does, the stuff that he gives, he gets a return for. That has value.
The guy in the jungle is completely useless to society.
But he's not, because his society, he's valuable. But he is.
He's not in a society.
Yeah, they have their community.
Jungle is by himself. I'm not talking about a community.
If you're talking about a dude by himself, that's a completely different story. It's a completely different thing. But what I'm saying is these tribal societies, those are still societies.
That's a community. But their society isn't big enough to where they need a government to regulate it.
Again, modern society, though. So again, the point I'm trying to make, and what I've been saying from the beginning, though, is modern society sucks. It's useless. It's broken. It's inherently broken. Dana, come on. You're telling me that it's right. You're telling me that it's right for a person to be born, work 65 years of their life to retire so they can maybe live 15 years of their life peacefully? Come on, man. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
That's totally fine.
That's fine.
Does that bring him value?
No! You wasted 65 years of your fucking life doing nothing, working for somebody else. This is why I think it's important. This is why I tell kids go to college, start your own businesses.
What is the problem with working for someone else?
I think if you're content working for somebody else for the rest of your life, that's a big problem, because that goes to show you carry no weight to your own. You share no self-value. That's true. If you're okay working with somebody for the rest of your life, yes.
No, it's not.
I think so.
That's not true at all.
I think
so. How as a business person are you supposed to hire anybody if everyone is their own leader? Like I said before, there's people that are followers and there's people that are leaders, and you need both for society or for basic things to work.
I agree. That's natural selection, though.
No,
people are better than other people. Yes, they are.
No, they aren't.
People, there are intrinsically, there are stronger people, there are weaker people. People are inherently better than other people.
Those people can be better in other ways.
That's fine. That's not what I'm saying, though. You're saying no. You're saying an absolute statement, and I'm not. And all I'm saying is there are people that are better than other people at things. You're saying no, but you can't say no to that. That's
I didn't say no to that.
But that's what you said, though.
No.
But you said no.
No.
But you said no.
Said no. Let me talk. You said there is people that are better than other people, and that's all you said at first.
Yes.
And then you said after that,
there are people better than other people.
That's what you added at the end. That's a totally different statement.
Fine. Even on the other thing, there are people that are better than other people. cut the Christian worldview stuff first. There are people that are better than other people.
No.
That is 100% true, Dana. That is 100%. No. There are people that are better. You are not better than the crack addict that is on the side of the road right now on 27th Avenue.
As a human,
hold on.
No.
Hold on. You are not better than that person.
That person is valuable.
See, but I think that's a problem we have. I think that's a problem. We need to stop walking around saying that everybody's the same, everybody's happy and fucking fun. That's not a problem. There are people that are good.
I'm not saying that.
I know, but like you need to look, like we need to look at things realistically. Realistically.
I am.
Bro, okay, realistically there are better people, there are worse people. That is realistic. It's not mean to say that. There are people that are here, there are people that are here. That's just that's the truth of the world. That's what I say.
There's flawed. All of us are flawed people in some way, shape, or form.
I agree.
And we all have, tons of problems. And some problems are worse than others.
Yeah.
And all it takes is for you to, we can all eventually get to the same place. And it just everybody's they're on a different, point in their journey to get to that same place.
See, but like that's the problem though. I don't, and it's great that you're looking at you look at it that way. It's great that you look at it that way. But at the same time, I feel looking at it that way, it's like, well,
you're saying some people are too far gone. Some
people are too far gone.
And that
some people are. I think the guy that commits 30 fucking homicides is too far gone. I think the guy that deals drugs his entire life is too far gone. I think the people that have been in and out of the prison system 50 times in their lives are too far gone. Yes, there are people that are too far gone.
I would like to look back on those people and see what brought them to that position. Because did they start out that way?
Some people, yeah. Some people are just fucked people. Ted Bundy, fucked person.
I bet you could trace it back to something. And maybe we haven't figured out what that thing is. Maybe in science, because we're still trying to figure out how the brain works, right? There may be some people that are just wired a certain way to be insane, but that is a mental illness. Let me ask
you something.
That doesn't make them as a human being better or worse than another person.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
So, in science, you brought up the big S word, so I'm going to bring up the big S. Yep. In science, historically on this earth, Homo sapiens weren't the only type of human. Neanderthals were as well.
They're not considered human.
But, hold on.
Humanoid.
No. They are 100% considered human. 100,000% considered human.
I don't think so. I think it's a totally different species. Same family.
Neanderthals and modern humans belong to the same genus, Homo, which means human.
Okay.
So, once again, it's the same species. It's Homo. It's the, you know what I mean.
Yes, it's similar, but it's not exactly the same family.
It's the same.
Or same species. The same family, different species.
It's the same thing. But we are both humans. It's both considered humans.
Okay.
We're genetically distinct from them, yes, but...
Continue.
Okay. We out-evolved them. We were the ones that ended up winning. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Were we not better?
Better at what? Living?
Survival?
Clearly.
Oh, okay. So we were better. Is that wrong to say? The problem is people will look at you fucked if you say some people are better than others. I proved that tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are better than others. I think the problem is the taboo behind that phrase. Because some people are better than others.
You're opening up a whole... Yeah, that's
the point of doing it, though. But I think it is a path I want to do. You know what? I think it is a path I want to go down.
No,
Why?
You do not want to go down that path.
Why?
Because you open it up to eugenics and a lot of other things that you don't want to go down. I personally think that, like I was saying, like I don't think that there are people that are necessarily better than others.
And
There
that's
are
fine.
people that
I'm fine
are
with you thinking that.
different and they're better at things in their own ways. They may have a better personality, whatever. A lot of those things can be subjective. Some of them are objective.
Can you
But
quantify it?
that's
Can you
that is,
quantify it?
quantify what?
Anything. Like from what you're talking about, can you quantify how much better a person is than another person?
Yeah, but you have to have a reference point.
If you can quantify it, then you can determine that there is one greater and one less than, meaning that you can determine that there is one better than there is one not.
It's based around a reference point, though. Like, I mean,
But that's
what are you
point.
basing where's the reference?
I
'Cause
think we
I
can
would think
if
that
we if
you have
we
to-
if we set it to like 5, right? If we did like speed, agility, like you say, we'll do like we'll do the Fallout 5, right? Perception, you know which one I'm talking about, right?
No.
Strength, perception, endurance, intelligence, charisma,
Yeah, there's gonna be
agility.
people that rank totally different on that spectrum.
Okay.
Does that change their worth as a human being?
I'm not saying it changes their worth as a human being. I'm not saying it changes their worth as a human being. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there are people that are better than other people. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that it changes your value as a human, but I am saying that it is that there are better people, that there are people better than other people. That is something I am saying.
Based on what metric?
I think you can quantify any metric. I think any human attribute
It's better
can
at
be beaten by another
someone
human.
based on a certain metric.
I think that you can
I agree
have
with that.
a perfect human. Hypothetically, I think you can have a perfect human.
No, you can't.
I think hypothetically speaking, I think you can. A genetically
Nope.
perfect human, I think you can.
Not in the real world.
But hypothetically speaking, yes, you can. Like with science, you can.
No.
Dana, listen to what I am saying. Hypothetically, purely hypothetically speaking, you could have one.
And I'm saying not in the world that we live in.
I think you like with genetic modification too. Hypothetically speaking,
I don't
you can
think
have
as human beings we'll ever get to a point where it is perfect.
no, okay.
We can get to a point where it's pretty damn good, but it's never going to be perfect.
But I mean, like, I think science one day will be able to make a genetically perfect human. I think a genetically perfect human is something that we should be striving for, in society, or not, or at least a genetically healthier human.
Yeah, that's not going to go well either. You can't even. Yeah, it's not. It's another path you don't want to go down.
I mean,
You do not want
to use science to better human life. I will support any
better
day.
human life, but you don't want to genetically edit people to be perfect. You never want to do that because that removes the uniqueness of people and you turn us all into robots.
But I think that's
You
already
remove
being
the
done.
beauty
I think
of
that's already
human
being done
beings.
with society. I think that's already being done with society, baby. That was my argument the whole time. That was my point.
I don't.
That's my point. I think people are all the same because of society. You all wake up at 8 o'clock to go to work. That was exactly what I said at the beginning. I think everybody's become the same because of society. So if you have the problem with it happening because of genetic modification, but society does it right in front of you, that is my point.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what society's doing.
But that's
There's
the
people that work different hours. There's people
Dana,
that work
you
different things.
agree with me
There's
that the
people
fucking
that
Soros
run their
family
own businesses. There's people that run their own businesses. There's people that don't run their own businesses and work for other people. We do both.
But
And it's like there's
But
people
dude,
that do
like
both
you
as well.
believe that the election was controlled. Like you believe that COVID was fake. You believe that these things like fucking happen, man. And then you're saying
no, I don't. I don't think that all these things are
You don't
are
believe that the
fake.
election. You don't believe that the election was a fraud. You don't believe that the election was faked.
I believe that there's definitely things that happened that were not legit.
Come
Of
on, man.
course.
You do not think Biden is the legitimate president of this United States. We've
No.
talked about this time and time again.
No, I
Come on.
don't.
So how the fuck are you
Based on what
telling
I've
me?
seen,
So
yeah,
how are you
no.
telling me that we're not already all robots by society, but you're worried that genetically modifying humans is going to make us all robots? How are you telling me? How are you saying that?
I don't even know where you're trying to go with this because it's like two completely different
But
things.
no, it wasn't two different things. I just took you down a tangent so you can open your eyes about the original one. My point is with society is that society has made you all made of all of us cut, copy, paste. It's everybody's the fucking same. We all do the same thing. Okay? But genetics now, if we're all a perfect human genetically, if we're all perfect, right? Then it takes away all the things that make us unique. But doesn't society already do that? Everybody wakes up. Everybody fucking does the same thing. Everybody worries about what everybody else has to think about them. Society already has you as a slave. Society made you a slave.
No.
And that's what I think. I think the problem with society is that there's no community. If you want society, you need to have community. But today, we have a society, but there isn't, though.
That.
Everybody's at each other's throats, bro. Everybody. This country is more divided than ever. You need to open your eyes. You can't. We don't live in a world of candy.
But like,
But see, that's my point. That's my point. Society has made everybody fucking slaves, and that's what I've been trying to say.
I disagree.
But
I don't agree with that.
Dana, how do you disagree?
And talking about.
But how? How? You wake up. You are trying to. You and every other of the 100,000 kids here are trying to get a degree because somebody has told them. But I believe it. I believe this. But I'm just saying because society has said that this is the right thing to do. I believe it because I know the reasons that are good to get a degree. But a lot of these kids don't know those reasons, and they're just doing it because they think it's the right thing to do. Okay,
it is the right thing to do a lot of the time.
But hold on.
What is the problem?
But genetically modifying somebody might be the right thing to do at some point at the time.
Dude, you have to let me answer you have to let me respond. Like
but
every
I
time
am
I
letting you respond.
you cut me off.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm answering every time you say something. But I need to give context to what your answer is, Dana.
No, you don't. I need to explain myself.
Fine, explain it. Explain. Go.
I do not think that everyone here is trying to be a slave to society. Like there is certain things that you do to make yourself more successful, right? One of those things for a lot of people is going to school and learning more and trying to get into a career. Because
what's the reason why they're going to school?
So that they can learn and get a job eventually.
Why?
Why? So they can make enough money to get by.
Why?
Because you can't get food, you can't provide for your family.
Why?
Without money.
Why?
Why what?
Why? What's the why? Without money, why?
Explain why.
No.
I just
without money, right? You can't do anything. Where do you get money?
From working.
How do you get the job?
You apply for the job and you have experience.
How? What gives you that experience?
Experiences, jobs, school.
Okay, hold on. School. My point is, why are these kids doing it? If you ask, if we go outside right now, if we go outside right now and we ask the first 10 kids we see, why are you at college? Guarantee half of them won't be able to tell you an actual reason why. An actual reason why besides, so I can get a degree. Why? We've talked about it on the pod.
It makes it easier to get a job.
We've talked about it. Yeah, we know the answers, but they don't.
Statistically, you get paid higher.
We know yes, we know the answers. They don't. My problem is they don't. But that's not even the problem. That's not the original situation. My problem is that we have all these people.
I
said the majority. I said the majority.
I don't even think it's the majority.
I think it's a majority.
I've talked to plenty of people that are here that are
a lot of
wanting to get
kids
a degree.
freshman year had
Like-
no fucking clue what they wanted to do with their lives. Most seniors in high
freshman
school,
year, you're not even
in high school don't know what they
Okay,
want to do
dude.
with the rest of their lives.
Yes, because they haven't experienced anything yet. They're young.
Okay, I don't know why you're getting
They're
so
trying to get
mad.
they're trying to get a head start.
I don't know why you're getting so mad. This is a podcast where we talk and we ask questions and we're supposed to question, the things that we know.
Bro, I don't even know how to talk to you. Like you're being very like abrasive right
I'm
now.
not abrasive. I'm
Yeah,
perfect.
you
I'm
are.
perfect right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a conversation.
I'm
then.
having a conversation. I think that society has made people slaves. You don't think
You
so.
said that already.
You don't think
Yeah.
so. But at the same
Mhm.
time, I think so because there are people that are content with working every single day of their lives, 9 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 8, 9 hours a day, even longer,
Mm-hmm.
until they're 65 so that they may have the chance to retire.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's okay. So you're okay. You're cool with people being slaves the 1st 65 years of their life?
They're not slaves. I think a lot of those people are perfectly happy with that. What
But
is the problem with that?
I see.
If you don't want to live that life, you don't have to live that life.
I'm not living that life at all.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
you're
gonna.
not a
I'm not gonna be.
slave?
I'm not
You're
gonna
not
be
a
working
slave.
for somebody for the rest of my life, at all,
Okay,
ever.
then don't.
I'm
Then
not.
don't.
I'm not a slave. I won't be a slave.
Then don't.
But I'd prefer
Okay.
if those around me weren't slaves either. I don't want to
But then
because
you're
I
not
don't
gonna
want to
have
see.
any employees at your job.
But that's not true.
You're not going to
That's
have
not
any
true.
employees.
That's not true.
How? They're working for you, which is the same thing as everyone else here.
Oh,
Working
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
under someone
But-
else.
Whoa, wait a minute. Some people have to work for other people because other people made better decisions in their life, right? And other people made better decisions in their life, which
It's
put
not
them in a better
necessarily
position.
better
Hold on.
it's not
Somebody
necessarily
made better
positions.
decisions. I'm not done, right? I'm not done either. We're not cutting each other off. I'm just kidding. See,
Oh
that's
my
my point.
God.
No, but see, that's what I'm
It's
talking
like-
about, though. That's what I'm talking about, though. Something pops in your head while I'm talking. That's what I do to you. It's not that I'm purposely trying to cut you off. It's just something pops into my head while you are talking. Just like you do it to me. That is what I do it
that
to you.
is
Do I do it
totally
at a much
different
higher level?
than
Yes.
fully cutting me off.
I'm not trying
That
to
is
cut.
totally
but,
different.
But I'm not
Cutting me
trying.
off and changing
You're
the
doing it
subject.
right now. I'm not trying to fully cut you off. My point is, it's just a fucking point pops in my head. That's my point. I'm not trying
That's
to cut you
great.
off.
Continue.
We do the same thing. So stop calling me out when I do it to you. Whatever. We do the same thing.
Continue with
I'm
your
continuing.
point.
I can do whatever I want. It's my podcast.
And
It's your
mine
podcast too.
Continue.
We could do whatever we want. I don't have to. I could sit here for an hour saying the same word. I'm not going to
Continue.
be a slave anymore to anybody. I'm already not. I do whatever the fuck I want.
That's great. Continue with your point.
That's my point. That's the point I'm making.
Okay, so
But
I
I know what you're talking about. Sorry, we went off on a tangent. Yes, somebody made better decisions and put in more work to own a business so that they could hire employees.
okay, but what is the problem with the employees? Like, what if they're not striving to be a business owner?
I think
what
that's
if
a
they're
problem. I think
perfectly
that's a problem.
happy
I think
with
that's a
making
problem.
a certain amount of money and supporting their family and living a life? Like,
think that's a
what is the problem? Why? Explain to me
I
why
think
that's a problem.
I think that's a big problem. If you don't strive for more, like if you are not striving to beat yourself every day, that's a problem.
How can
Why-
you not?
why are you
how
living?
can you not beat yourself every day?
You should.
How can you not be a better person?
I wake
working
up
for
every
someone
day.
else?
I wake up every day trying to see how I can beat myself. You understand? How can I
Okay.
beat myself from what I did yesterday? How can I beat that version of me from yesterday? And I think somebody who wakes up and they're like, they go to their job. If they're truly happy, they're truly happy. Let them be happy. Whatever. But at the same time, you have people that are like, oh, I hate my job. I hate this. I hate everything. But they're not going to do anything to make those changes.
Okay, that's up to them to make that change, and those people just need to. Well, it could be circumstantial. I mean, there's definitely people out there that, they get into position based on bad decisions, and they hate their position, and they don't know how to get out of it. They may be too lazy to get out of it, They may not know how to get out of it. They may not have, the knowledge of how to.
Yeah.
But that's why a lot of these people are at school, so that they can prevent being stuck in a position like that.
So they can be better than the other people that didn't go to school?
They can be in a better position.
So they can be better. Again,
They
so
can be
those
making
people,
more money and more successful.
So we're agreeing. Just say yes.
No, I don't think they're better as a person.
But they are better
At their position. They're in a better situation.
Meaning
they're
that they
happy.
are. Meaning that overall they are doing better.
Better in life, yeah.
That's my point.
Position. But you're saying there's people that are
Dana, if you're doing better in life, you're doing better as a person as a whole. Like,
not always.
If you're doing better in life, you're not doing better as a person?
Well, better in a career? Not always.
Why not? Whoever said people, that is not, I know exactly what you were going to say. There are people that are super rich that are not happy. Whoever said that, I swear to God, was a poor man. There is no...
I'm not saying that.
There is no... Okay, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say that, you can be successful and still be miserable as a person.
So you were going to say that?
No, I'm not. It doesn't have to... It has nothing to do with finances. I think it's just...
Finances determine success.
Screwed over.
Finances determine success. It is.
Okay. Not always.
Fine, Dana. People
Career success, maybe.
And what is that giving you? Finance.
That's what I'm talking about.
A successful career is one that has made you money, I would assume. Like, right?
Depends on what you're doing.
That's what a career is, though. Like, if you're doing something for a career, I would assume that you would like to make money off of it.
Yeah, I mean, making more money is always a good thing.
So, wouldn't you want to strive to do that?
I would, but not everybody.
Wouldn't you want to better yourself and make yourself better to do that?
Yes, but not everybody. Not everyone cares.
So you make yourself better than other people to put yourself into a better position than those other people. Which is my point.
I'm not even gonna continue with this because it's just like, you just keep going in a circle. It's just not. It's not going anywhere.
But that's the thing, though. It's like every time you say something, the example you give is doing something to put yourself above somebody else. Meaning you are doing
a better position, but that doesn't I'm
Dana,
not saying that I'm better than anybody. Like I'm just because I have, more money or that I'm in a better position. Maybe because I'm going to school or something. Just because I'm in college doesn't make me better than the guy who didn't go to school at all. That guy could be doing something else and be totally happy.
It can make you
could
better.
Could be making more money than me.
It can make you better, though.
It can help.
Yeah, it can help make you better.
Yes, it could, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not the end-all solution. So and people that aren't in school, some of those people are totally happy. They're totally content with where they're at, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. I have zero problem with that. I don't see why you have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with people being happy. I never said that. I actually said the opposite. I said if people are happy, they're fine. Like if they're truly happy in their lives.
There's people. You're saying that there's people that aren't leaders, and those people are slaves to society. That's what you were arguing.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying those people aren't slaves to society because they're totally happy with where they're at.
That's fine. And
they're
that's
not necessarily a slave to someone. They work for someone, but they get rewarded for working for someone.
And that goes to show
they like that.
That goes to show your glass half full attitude. And I'm super happy about that.
Again, let's put it in this sense. As a business owner who's working to provide for their customer, how are you not a slave to your customer?
You're a slave to your business. You're a slave to your business.
Okay, so...
Yeah, to your business that you made. And in order to
Yeah.
keep working better,
So
you need to
what's the
keep
problem?
So in order to keep doing better and to keep making sure that your business does better, you need to beat yourself every day, meaning that you have to be a better
Right.
version of yourself. So you need to even
Right.
be better than yourself every day.
You should be
In
better
the
yourself,
end,
yes.
in the end though, you're still better at the end of the day. You're still beating yourself than you were yesterday. You're still beating that version of yourself from yesterday, meaning that you are still better in the end. There are winners.
You should be trying to better yourself every day. Yes.
Yes.
And I think that
There
people
are
that are working in an industry, I mean, let's put it in the context of our work meetings.
yeah.
Um, our bosses want us to be better every day,
Yeah.
and if you're not better every day, eventually you'll get fired
Yeah.
because you're not worth anything.
Well,
to
no,
the
that's
company.
not true. Not anymore. Not in today's society. Not in today's.
With certain exceptions, that is true. So I'll agree with you on that. But that is just woke BS that's made its way
Well,
into,
and I think it's woke
corporations.
BS that everybody should be a winner. I think that there
Yeah,
are
I agree.
winners and then I think that there are losers.
Well, there should be consequences to every action, whether good or bad.
Yeah,
And
sure.
the whole woke
Okay.
take is that everyone should have a good consequence no matter what.
Can I ask
Unless
you
you
something?
disagree with
Can I
wokeism.
ask you something?
Sure.
Do you believe in winners and losers?
Yes.
So you believe in people being better than other people, Dana?
No,
You
there's
can't have
people
one
that win
without
at
the
things,
other.
there's people that lose at things.
You can't have one without the other.
Dude, all I'm saying, and this is what I've said this whole time, is that there isn't someone who's worth more than someone else. There isn't a human being that is necessarily a better human than another person. Every human holds the same worth, and their actions, they may be better than someone else,
Yeah.
in certain things, certain ways, but they're definitely worse than that person in other areas. Okay? It's the same for everybody, and that's what makes people unique and different, and that's the beauty of life, right? I don't like you saying that there are people that are 100% better than other people,
No, I'm
and
not saying people are more. Hold on. I agree with what you just said.
so you're
Until
saying that we
I think I don't think that humans are more valuable than other humans. I don't think the value of a human life outweighs more than another human life.
okay,
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are people that are better than other people. I'm not saying that the value of their lives are different. I'm saying that there are people that are better than other people. I'm just refusing to believe that we're all the same.
we aren't all the same, but you were saying that everyone is the same,
But I
and
think
that's why we're a slave to society.
society has made us fine. I think society has made us. Let me word it better. Then maybe it was just the wrong way to word it. I think society. For one thing, I think society's making us a slave. I think that's a statement. I think that's a true statement. I think we're a slave, to whoever we are. I think we're all slaves. I'm trying to find a proper way to word this. I think that. Do you have a better way? Do you think that you understand what I'm saying and you just have a better way to word it? Because
Well, I think we're all servants to something. I mean, we're ultimately we're servants to God,
yeah,
and we're servants to um, society. I mean, we have to be servants to society because society wouldn't work without people running it, right?
I just
We're servants to our family. You work for your family, and you try and bring in income and bring in food to put on the table and stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, it's just determine whatever you want to put your effort into, like that's going to be taking your time. So I guess you're technically a servant to that. But I wouldn't say like you're forced into anything. You can like we're pretty lucky where we're at. We can choose. We have the option to choose where we go.
yeah.
And you know, having finances and you know putting yourself in a position where you can be more successful helps ease the it opens up opportunities for you to make more decisions and be more free. So the more money you have, um the more free you are in a society like we have today.
That's what I say. I mean, that's why I want to be rich. I definitely don't
And
want.
that's great, but and I just want to, I'm sorry for cutting out, but there's people that don't mind where they're at, and they don't mind working every day to
I
come home to their family and calling it a day.
I think
That's
what bothers
and
me
there's
about
no
that.
problem with that.
I think what bothers me about that is the intrinsic fear in the back of my mind that that's going to become me. That I'm going to settle in life and I'm just going to have to, because at one
Okay,
point in
so
life,
it's a you problem.
hold
Then.
on. In what point in life? Well, no, I don't think it's just a me problem. I think that there's other things that go along with it. At one point in life, do you have to be happy because you settled and you have to be happy? And at what point are you actually happy? Do you understand what I'm saying with that? How many of those people
Yeah.
are actually happy because they're happy, or they have to be happy because that's how their cards turned out? You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's why you always see the people that are like, oh, look at that person. They're poor, but they have a family and they're super happy. Well, it's like, cool. Are they happy, but are they happy because they had to be happy because that was kind of their only option? Or are they happy because they're happy? Like, that's the real question. Because if you ask anybody, like, I'm sure, go to that family, give them $1 million. They'll be really fucking happy. They'll be like 10 times more happy than they were yesterday, I swear. Like, come on. That's the kind of like rainbow gumdrop bullshit I hate. I hate the idea that, oh yeah, we're just happy. We just want our family. Yeah, cool. But you also want your family to be rich. Any father wants like their children to be rich. Like, you know what I mean? No father wants to see their children like eating white bread and honey every morning. I went through that. I never want to go through that ever again. I never want my kids to go through that. You know what I mean? I think that's why I have such a big problem with it. I lived that shit life. I was in that shit. You don't understand? I had $0. My mom, my dad had $0. So I feel like
I went through that too.
I feel like that's just why I say it's like, if you're settling in life, you're failing yourself. I feel like you're failing yourself if you're gonna settle, because you know how it's like. You know how it's like to live like that. You never want to live like that ever again. So why the fuck? Why would you try to believe that somebody's happy living like that?
Well, that's why we're doing what we're doing now, right?
No,
I mean,
but that's what I'm
that's
saying.
why we're in school. That's why we're out pursuing a needed career.
Yeah.
That's why we're out here, busting our butts trying to make this work. We're trying to start our own business, and we're out there making moves. Like, I think the reason why we're doing that is because we want to build success.
Yeah.
Ourselves.
And I think that's why I have a problem with settling. I have a problem with saying, yeah, no, this is fine. I'm cool with this. I don't want to settle, because like that's a big thing.
I don't either.
That's a big problem.
I don't either. But I also think that it's not really right for us to judge other people's experiences.
I'm not going to.
There's other people that are totally like. I know you said there's people that are like faking happy, but I know people that are happy where they're at. I mean, they're fine with what they're doing, and they don't have their own business. They're working for other people,
Yeah,
but they're doing their thing, and they're having a good time.
Yeah, but you know that from outside looking in, though. When that door closes at the end of the day, and they're crying over their table because they can't pay their mortgage, or they can't pay the electricity bill, or they can't pay something.
I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people that are doing just fine.
I don't know.
But they're working for other people. They're making good money. They're working for someone else. What's the problem with that?
You can make good money and work for somebody else. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. But at the same time, you're not a slave. You're not a slave if you're doing that. I wouldn't say you're a slave if you do that. If you make very good money, if you figured out how to use somebody else's company to make you 6+ figures a year, you 100% are the winner in that situation. Good job. You found out how to take somebody else's work and how to make it profit you.
Okay, so clearly you're changing what you said before, and you're expanding on it, and you're explaining it deeper.
I said before,
so
if somebody makes money, good for them. If somebody makes money, good for them.
Okay, but
if somebody's going to be
but
stuck
you
for
did say I'm not trying to like prove you wrong or anything right now. I'm just trying to like understand and clarify what
yeah,
you're saying
and
because I
because you
think
don't want
some of
people
the
being slaves. Because that's what
well
you're
you came across kind of saying that everybody who doesn't have their own business is a slave to society. Well, ultimately, we're all slaves to society in some way,
not.
shape, or form, and
I,
that's the way society is. You have to contribute to it.
but
But we're
my thing is,
in a
you
position
think
where we can change things
you
in society,
but
and
my
we can
problem
fight
is with
for things.
society is when I say society, when I'm saying what I'm saying about society, you're immediately drawing to the conclusion that I don't want society, that I want anarchy. I don't
You
want that.
basically said that.
But I
You
didn't.
basically said that at the start,
Okay,
and you've
really
changed
have
it.
told you this multiple fucking times. When I say something, I'm direct. I hate when people fucking say that. You basically said, I hate that so much. It ticks me off so.
Okay, well,
it presses
if
those
you're
buttons. And I'm not saying it's specifically you. I'm just saying in general.
no, I know, and but that's fine.
But
But you're on a podcast trying to explain your point to people
but
who've
I'm
never
very
talked to you before.
direct.
No,
Yes,
you're not. You're not
if
direct at
if
all.
you're
You're saying something that's
100,000%. If you are working for one person until you are 65 years old, hold on. Can I just say?
No, I was talking. If you're saying something,
You were asking me a question.
if you're saying one thing, and then you have to re-explain it later to make your point, that your actual point, then you're not being direct. You're actually
I am being direct.
misleading.
If
with
you
what you're
are
saying.
going to simply, if you're fine, I don't have a problem with society. That is not what I'm saying. Okay, hold on. I have a problem with society. I don't have a problem. I don't want to get rid of society. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what society has become. Modern day society is a piece of shit.
So you want change to
I
society.
want change. I've said I want to change.
Okay, and that's what I was saying.
But the problem is the entirety of the society. Are there parts of it? Sure. But the majority of it sucks. You live off of the example that you're all... most of your money goes to the government. That's not okay. I don't want that. That's bad. Society bad. That's bad. The money that you work for, you should own. That's your money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
But the
I
foundation
also think
of
that's
our
wrong.
society
I think
is
it's also
good.
bad. I think that people are not good if they have to work for somebody until 65 and retire.
Why?
I think that's bad because
Why?
if you are incapable of taking a 30-year, or if you're incapable of saving money for 30 years, taking that money, figuring out how to grow that money, that's a problem. You need to learn those skills.
Okay, I don't know how that changes where
You
you're at.
wouldn't be a slave until 65. Say I make money. Say I work until 30. I can save X amount of money. I can, do whatever. I can figure out a way to grow that money. It's if I'm staying content working for somebody else. I just don't get how people are okay with that. I don't get how people can wake up saying, yes, I'm happy working for somebody else. I'm happy doing this stuff. Like, I can get how it's easy for people, but do you think that it's good because that it's easy for people, or which I think is a bad thing because lazy? I think people have just gotten too lazy. I think that's the problem I'm trying to get. I think that's the right way to say it. People are too lazy. That's what I'm trying to say. I think people are getting too comfortable. People are too comfortable getting a job and working until 65 and retiring like everybody else did. People are too comfortable. Nobody's doing like special things anymore. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know how to word it correctly. People are too comfortable. I think people got too comfortable. I think that's the point I've been trying to make. I think people have gotten too wishy-washy, too soft, cuddly, too comfortable. And now we're entering hard times again, and I think this is why we're starting to see people starting to wake up more. It's because I think we've gone into the thing where, hard times make hard men. You know what I mean? You know that saying?
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening, and I think that's the problem that I have. I think I have a problem with people being too comfortable.
Okay.
I think that's a better way to phrase it. But I think it's wrong. I think working for somebody until you're 65 inherently, and most of your pay at the end of that 65 years is going to be going to the government, not you, is a problem.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I I agree with you that I don't think the government should be taking all your money, and I think that the reason why they do is because they have all this other bloat crap that they send it off to. Um, so they basically just waste your money. Um, However, I don't think that has anything to do with the people that are, working till 65. I don't draw that connection really. Um,
I don't know. I
that's
just,
just that.
would you want to do that? Like, you'd be okay with that?
No, no, but other people are okay with that. Like I
Why?
said,
Why are
why
they
what?
okay? Why are they okay with it?
Because it works for them.
Why?
What do you mean why?
I don't know. I'm like asking you why.
Because they make
It
enough money
it's so
to support their
foreign.
family and everything they want to do.
But
Simple as that.
but then in that situation, are they actually happy though? Like, is that person actually happy though? Like that's the problem I have. I feel like, that person, whoever, I said it before earlier, whoever said like, oh, they're people that are rich are miserable, it was a poor man, dude. People that have money are not miserable. They are not. I feel like that's like copium that somebody like huffed. You know what I mean? To make themselves feel better. And I feel like that's my problem. That's another problem I have in society. I feel like people are huffing copium left and right. I feel like it's all, well, they did that because it's like everybody finds an excuse, but nobody's able to do the work themselves. Everybody,
Well, that's definitely
you'll
true.
always find an excuse for something. You'll always find an excuse why everybody else is doing better than you, but you'll never be responsible for yourself. That's
Yeah,
a
well, I
problem.
mean, that's
That is a
yeah,
problem with society.
it's
I
immaturity.
I think that's a problem with society. I think that is my problem with society. I have so many problems with society. I think people are too lazy. I think nobody is accountable for anybody, or nobody holds themselves accountable for anything. I think
Maybe you
that
should put that in a tweet. Put that in a tweet
I
or
should.
something.
I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna write a book. I'm writing a book actually.
Maybe you should put this in a tweet and explain kind of maybe a tweet series that might actually be good. Where you
Explaining.
explain kind of your thoughts on it.
I guess so I can put it down or express it.
Just
I did
iron it
I
out
did a
more.
bad
Yeah.
job expressing it on this episode. That's for sure. The point I'm trying to get across. It's just because it's difficult. It's difficult.
I mean,
I think a lot.
yeah, I definitely
And I didn't.
understand where you're coming from on a lot of it, though. I mean, I agree with some of your sentiments. I agree with, um, some of the points you made.
I agree with you. I agree with you on a lot of stuff.
I don't.
You guys need to realize that like 90% of Dana and I is like yelling at each other. It's just we're just saying the same thing, just
It's
with different
kind.
words.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like 90%
Well,
of the same thing.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
90% of the time. And like the thing, and I'm saying this live and I'm putting this out in the public sphere because it deserves to be on the public sphere. I cut Dana off a lot and I don't mean to, and I tell him this and he doesn't believe me. He thinks I mean to cut him off. Something pops
Okay.
in my head and I just, hold on, you just did it there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It pops in your head and you just want to say it right away. That's exactly what happens to me. We do it to each other. I don't mean to do it to you. It's like we do it to each other. You think of something, you say it right away. I do the same exact thing.
Oh my God, man.
What?
It's just very hard to talk to you right now.
Why?
Just,
How? How did I
don't
say?
know.
How did I say something bad?
Just abrasive.
What does that
Um,
mean? What do you mean by that?
it's just rough around the edges for sure.
What do you mean?
Uh, Confrontational.
How?
It's just your attitude right now, but
I don't
that's
have
fine.
I don't have an attitude. Like that's what I'm trying to understand. I
So
don't have an attitude right now.
I was gonna say that it's very, at least from my experience, it's very common for um, extroverts to try and get as many words in as possible. So I'm not. That's not a dig at extroverts. It's just something that I've noticed, and Yeah, I'm not faulting you for that,
That's
and
interesting.
it's a learning thing.
That's interesting because you do the same thing, and there are plenty of examples during this episode when you do the same thing, and other episodes. And I'm not saying that I
Well,
don't do it. I'm just saying that we
yeah,
do the same thing, and you think I purposely try to cut you off, and instead I literally specifically explained, and I showed you doing it as
I
well because
yeah,
we
I
do it to
don't
each
think
other.
it's yeah, and I don't think it's
And I'm not trying to be
you
abrasive right now.
necessarily. Yeah, I know. I don't think it's you trying to do it. I just think it's like you're ready to change the subject, or you're just like you basically get to the point in your head where it's like, okay, I've kind of understood what you're saying. Let's move on. Like I'm already past that point. In the in a normal conversation, that's usually okay. Um, I mean, it feels crappy from my angle, but like, we can communicate that way. In a podcast, it's much better to iron out lay out the whole
Yeah,
thing
no, for
so that
sure,
other
for
people
sure,
can hear it. You know what I mean?
for
That's what
sure.
we're trying to do here.
Um,
So,
I think the point that I was trying to get across was it's not malicious,
no, it's definitely not malicious. I understand
you
that.
know,
And I think
and
it's not malicious for a lot of people.
because you do it too.
Yes, I have done it on this podcast, and the reason why a lot of times is latency, and it's also not understanding when you're finished
And
because
that's a
you'll
lot of the problem with you
pause.
too. That's a problem. That's a lot of the problem with me with you too. I just don't know when you're done talking because you'll have these like medium to long pauses, and I'll think you're done, but you're not.
Hmm.
So I'll start talking, and then you start talking again.
Hmm.
So I like I when you say I don't like when you say I'm cutting you off because I'm not trying to. Like if you just say excuse me, I'm not done, or like I get it.
Okay.
I it's just like sometimes that happens. And sometimes, like I said, we do it to each other and it's just something pops in my head and I say it. It doesn't mean I'm trying to stop your entire conversation or stop your entire sentence. I just want to get that part out as quick as I can so that you can continue on with what you're saying.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's not I'm trying to cut you off and I want you to stop talking. It's
Yeah.
I'm going to push that in there really quick, but I don't want you to stop talking. Or I'm not trying to cut you off. It's just this popped into my head and I think it's important and I want to say it now.
Yeah. Let's not do that on the podcast.
It's tough. I mean, that's just natural conversation.
I
That's a
know. I know.
natural thing that happens. I feel like that's something that we have to train ourselves. I think that's something that you get better with over time. I think that's something that you just have to break because
Of course.
that's just something you're used to doing in natural
Yeah.
conversation.
Yes, of course. And the reason being is you don't want conflicting audio.
Oh yeah, no, for
So
sure.
that's kind of the purpose.
Well, conflicting audio. I mean, we figured out I had to turn you down a bit. I did turn you down a bit. You kept moving
Hmm.
closer to your mic. I've been kind of playing with your volume this entire episode.
Okay.
Um,
Hopefully you didn't mess it up.
I did. Anytime if you ended up in red, I just turned you down because like you'd move
Okay.
closer and you'd move farther, so I'd have to kind of play around with it, which would be easier, when Devin's producing, but because
Yeah,
then he
we'll
could
see.
just do it. I mean, listen. I have a lot of problems with society. I feel like after this episode, I'll make it clear because I don't feel like I worded it correctly. But I think, and the thing with people being better than other people, I don't want that to be so taboo to be able to say. I'm not saying that the value of a human life is going to be different. I'm just saying that I think that overall you could look at two people and say yes, this person is better than another one. Like I just think that that is something that you can do. Um, and I think it's something that we all do, and I think that people that say that they don't are lying. You know what I mean? Because it's like, why aren't you friends with everybody then? You know what I mean? Like, why are you friends with some
Yeah.
people, not friends with everybody? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I feel like that's a big thing. I feel like people are very two-faced. I feel like we've lied to I feel like a lot of people, man. A lot of people.
I don't know. I think we should definitely wrap that up. I mean, I don't agree with you still on that. That's fine.
I don't have to. Yeah, we
Now
don't have to agree.
yeah.
That's your right.
No, we're definitely not getting anywhere with that topic. So
It's
yeah.
whatever. I don't to be honest, I don't care if we're yelling and hollering at each other during a podcast, dude. And honestly, I don't care. Like, do you?
I don't think it's necessary.
I don't think it's bad, though.
I mean, we can get heated a
We can
little
get
bit, but I
heated.
don't
I
think.
don't think it's not allowed
Yeah,
for
I
us to
mean,
get heated. I can say whatever we want. You could say whatever you want. You know, it's our show. At the end of the day, I don't care like what anybody says about it. I don't care anybody's opinions. I mean, I care about our fans' opinions and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you know, I care if you're happy, I care if I'm happy. Because that's who matters, you know, that's whose checkbooks gets affected by at the end of the day. I know that for sure.
mhm.
And I think that's just I think people need to be less worried about what other people think and what other people say about them, and they just need to be more focused on how can I better myself, better my life, and how can I be better than everybody else. I think that's a safe place to leave it.
Yeah.
Unless you have something else, I don't know.
No,
We
that's a
kind
good
of we
spot.
kind of went off on tangents. That's what I like, and that's what we should do on the show.
Yeah, I definitely. Was this our longest episode?
Hour 40.
Definitely the longest.
Yeah. Well,
That's good.
it's a podcast, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus. I can I don't know. I liked it. I had a good episode.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting topic to talk about, or list of topics, especially the last one. Um, Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. Let us know what you think about anything that we talked about in the comment section. Big things coming for Tea Talk in the near future. We're trying out some new things. We've been talking about it for a while, but we're
I've been
actually getting
busy.
stuff coming in.
I've been
Toss has
busy
been
up
very
the
busy,
ass. I've been
very
literally
busy.
my life has been T Media for the last like 3 weeks. So you guys can
Yep, and
understand that.
truthfully, I haven't been involved in much of it because I've been very busy with Apex, like I've said.
Apex is the
Um,
only excuse. I'm putting this on record. Apex is the only excuse that I've given Dana. Apex is the only excuse that Dana can use to miss an upload date. That is it. That is it.
yep,
I
I'm
don't even have an
yeah,
excuse. I don't have an excuse.
and there's some other stuff regarding that I'm hopefully gonna get going on my channel um, that's been stagnant for a little while. So we'll see if I can get that up and running soon. I've been working since yesterday trying to get my second PC up and running so I can get kind of the stream stuff going. Um, don't know if that's gonna end up working, but we'll see. I would like to stream some of the games that I'm playing, so that'd be cool. And in the future, Tasa and I are probably gonna play some games together. We got some plans for that as well. So
Dana just needs
that'll
to
be fun.
stop quitting like every game we play.
Yeah, it's tough because time and rage.
Don't you fucking dare. Yes, that is the answer I was looking for.
And okay, so there's that. But yeah, we're also working for our senior project on
Project,
some
yeah.
stuff for Team Media, which is really cool. We're
All
bringing on
team
some new
media.
people.
All team media. It's the
All Team
entire
Media.
we're building the entire so like our network stack, our security stack, my babies, I have to let other people touch my babies and I don't like
Yeah,
letting other people touch my babies.
yeah, but we're bringing on some new people. They all seem really cool. So
Vi's
yeah, I
really good.
think
We lucked out with Vi. He's a great,
yeah,
great, great
good
teammate.
guy
Great
for
teammate.
sure. But yeah, I think we got a lot of cool stuff coming. So just check check our Twitter, the T Media Twitter. Check Tassa's Twitter. He talks about a lot of the stuff a lot of the time. And yeah, I mean, if you're gonna post about kind of the stuff you were talking about
I
towards the
am.
end of the
I'm gonna
episode,
post it. I'm gonna write like a
okay,
big thread. So I could like
yeah,
word it better.
follow him on Twitter
T
at T
plays
Plays
now.
Now,
That's
and
it.
yeah,
Do the whole thing.
and
You're on a roll.
um, I was gonna say use code TTalk for Driftin Threads for 10% off. Pick yourself up a hoodie. We're starting to go into fall, so it's gonna get a little bit cooler here. So get a hoodie over there and maybe a bucket hat if you want one. Maybe a
Yeah.
backpack for school.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if you want to see anything about cars or anything, Kurt's been working on
Heavy.
Driftin Threads on Instagram a
Daily.
lot.
It's daily uploads.
Yeah, daily uploads on Instagram. So we'll put all those links in the description. Check our link trees. Check all our links, and let's wrap this up. What do you
Wrap it
think,
up.
Tasso?
I think we're good. Do you
All
want to say
right.
bye? Bye. That's me. I'm letting you do it, dude. It's all you.
Thank you everyone for watching, and if you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe for our episodes once a week, and be on the lookout for some shorts coming out too. We're
Yes.
working on those.
For
All
sure.
right.
Alrighty.
See you everybody.
Peace out.